You know that feeling, right? That specific mix of being a bit under the weather, maybe feeling a little vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have to deal with, well, going to the doctor, a medical appointment,
Hmm.
trying to get across exactly how you feel, what's wrong, what you need. It can feel like a really high stakes conversation, especially if your head's already fuzzy.
Totally. It really can.
And clear communication then isn't just, nice to have. It feels absolutely essential.
It's a pretty universal challenge, isn't it? And that's exactly why this deep dive is, I think, quite useful. Today, we're really zooming in on what seems like a simple thing, a basic chat at the doctor's office.
Okay.
Our source for this is actually a simulated dialogue. It's from an English learning exercise, believe it or not.
How interesting.
Yeah, designed to help people practice exactly these kinds of medical visits.
Now, a learning exercise, that might sound a bit basic, but what's interesting here is how it gives us this really clear window, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Into the, let's say, the subtleties, the strategic kind of moves within these interactions that seem so straightforward on the surface.
Absolutely. And our mission for you today is to go, well, way beyond just the words on the page of that dialogue.
Right.
We want to pull out the critical communication flow, the unspoken stuff, the really essential questions you need to ask, or maybe how to ask them effectively.
Okay.
So you feel not just like you've been heard, but actually confident,
Yeah.
in control. Next time you're at the clinic, it's not just language practice. It's really about, empowerment, patient empowerment.
Okay, let's dig into this then. So our source kicks off with a patient, Emma Johnson, arriving at the clinic.
Yep.
And the receptionist immediately asks, "Good morning, how can I help you?" Seems simple, standard greeting, but what's the deeper thing going on here for the patient?
Well, what's kind of fascinating is how the dynamic shifts right away. You're feeling unwell, maybe a bit anxious, and boom, you're on the spot. You have to state your purpose.
Yeah.
So Emma's reply, "Good morning. I have an appointment with Dr. Smith at 10:00, and then giving her name. It highlights how important it is to have that little concise pitch ready for your visit.
Like knowing your lines almost.
Exactly. It just sets up clarity right from the get-go, and that can really take the edge off the initial anxiety, probably for both people involved.
That's a great point. It's not just stating a fact, it's efficiently like setting the scene. Okay, so then she's in the exam room, Dr. Smith comes in, the classic opening. What brings you in today?
Classic, yeah.
That's the doctor's cue for you to tell your story, right? Explain what's up. But for the patient, that can be really challenging sometimes, can't it?
Oh, absolutely. It raises that key question. How do you say, "I'm not feeling well," clearly,
Yeah.
without sort of rambling on, or worse, leaving out important details?
Right.
So Emma starts with that very common phrase, "I'm not feeling well." Okay. But she immediately follows up with her main specific complaint. "I've had a headache for 2 days."
Okay.
And that combination, the general statement, then a specific symptom with a time frame, it's a really powerful way to start, actually. It flags the immediate issue, but also gives context straight away.
And then this is where it gets quite insightful, I think. The doctor follows up, "Do you have any other symptoms?" Now, that's not just being polite, is it?
No, not at all. It's a critical diagnostic tool, a probe.
Yeah.
It's prompting the patient to give a fuller picture. So Emma adds, "Yes, I feel tired and I have a sore throat." And this bit really shows the patient's job in this actively thinking, recalling the details. Indeed. And the doctor keeps probing, asking specific questions, moving from that general unwell feeling to more targeted things like, "Do you have a fever?"
Okay.
It shows you how diagnosis is often iterative, step by step. A patient might not have actually checked their temperature. So Emma's response, "Yes, I think so. I feel hot and cold," is great.
Right. She describes the sensation.
Exactly. Even without a number. It's about translating what you feel inside into words the doctor can use. Communicable symptoms.
Then the doctor confirms it with a thermometer, finds a slight fever, okay, and asks, "Any coughing?" Emma says, "A little, especially in the morning." These seem like small details, but they're all pieces of the puzzle for the doctor.
They are.
What really stands out to you about this whole symptom gathering part?
Well, if you connect it to the bigger picture, this whole exchange really highlights the partnership. It has to be a partnership between doctor and patient.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The doctor's questions, they guide the patient towards being specific. But it's the patient's ability to provide both that general feeling and the specific details that's absolutely crucial.
You need both sides.
You really do. It's about painting that complete picture. So the diagnosis here ends up being a viral infection, and the doctor follows up with recommendations, medicine and rest. Standard stuff.
But this leads to another really, really important moment in this dialogue. I think it's a real moment of patient empowerment. Emma asked the question, do I need antibiotics?
Yes, that is such a key question. So many patients wonder about it. And it often means you have to sort of push past maybe your own assumptions or what you think should happen.
Hmm.
And the doctor's reply is very clear, very direct. Not yet. Then explains why. Drink warm fluids, rest, and take the medicine. Come back if it gets worse.
Okay.
This doesn't just give instructions. It gives a contingency plan. It clarifies the treatment, explains why antibiotics aren't the step right now, and sets really clear expectations about what to do if things change.
Yeah.
It's just a brilliant example of getting precise advice and understanding the next steps, all because the patient asked that proactive question.
So thinking about this whole interaction, stepping back a bit, what broader communication strategies or like principles can we take away from this for you listening?
Well, beyond just the immediate back and forth, the source kind of implicitly points to some vital principles.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling well. Okay, that's flagged as a polite, common way to say you're sick. But the strategy is follow it up immediately with specifics, like sore throat. Describing those distinct pains is crucial.
Yeah.
And understanding questions like, do you have a fever, means you know what kind of information the doctor's actively looking for.
Got it.
And another huge takeaway is the power a patient has when they ask clarifying questions. Do I need antibiotics? That really shifts the dynamic, doesn't it? Makes it feel much more collaborative.
I thought it was really empowering, actually, that the source also subtly highlighted how important clarity is on the patient's side, too.
How so?
Well, it mentioned that it's okay to say, I don't understand, or can you repeat that, please?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That feels like massive advice, especially when you're feeling vulnerable or maybe the medical information is complex.
Yeah.
It reminds you that this really is a two-way street. Your understanding is essential to the whole thing working.
It truly is.
Yeah.
Patient clarity is absolutely paramount. Asking for clarification, make sure you actually grasp the advice, the treatment plan. It's a proactive step. Patient advocacy, really.
Yeah.
And underneath the actual words spoken, the underlying message seems to be about slowing down a bit, speaking clearly, taking the time you need to get your symptoms across and to properly understand the advice you're given.
This deep dive really has gone beyond just the words, hasn't it? It's given us some strategic insights into these really crucial real-world moments,
Yeah.
from, the subtle dance of checking in to being precise about symptoms to actively making sure you understand the advice. It's all about equipping you with the tools for better, more empowering communication when it comes to your health.
So what does this all mean for you? Well, if you connect the dots from Emma's visit to this bigger idea of advocating for yourself, understanding your own health,
Yeah.
you can really see how being able to say, I'm not feeling well, followed by those sharp specifics, or asking that direct question, do I need antibiotics? It's a fundamental step, really, in taking charge of your own well-being.
It builds that confidence, doesn't it?
It does. Confidence, not just in speaking the words, but in actually participating meaningfully in these really critical interactions.
And thinking about that doctor's advice, come back if it gets worse, it sort of prompts us to think about the ongoing nature of health communication, right?
It's not just a one-off.
It's not just about that single visit, it's the whole journey. So what other questions might you prepare? Even for when you're feeling better, maybe about prevention or managing things long term.
That's a great point.
How can getting that clarity right at the start, when you first describe your symptoms, how can that set the stage, not just for the right diagnosis then, but for the whole path to recovery, to better health overall?
Yeah. It's about recognizing that every clear conversation, every intentional communication, it all adds up to a better, more informed healthcare experience in the end.